everyone, welcome back to another Stitches and Scribbles tutorial. Today we are going to make our elf cowl. I'm really excited about this pattern. It uses some new techniques and some new stitch patterns, and I hope you enjoy them. For our project today, I am using Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Low Pill Fiber in the color green. This is what it looks like when you get it. I have my first one caked up and ready to go. This yarn has 186 yards per skein, and it is 100% acrylic. The label recommends using 5mm knitting needles. I'm going to be using 6mm knitting needles today because I want this to have a little bit more of a lacy effect for the cluster stitch pattern in the middle. You are going to cast on 35 stitches today, and I'm using just a normal cast on method. So go ahead and cast on your 35 stitches and then we'll go over the next step. Since this is a more complex pattern, like some of my other Dungeons & Dragons patterns, I will have the row repeats appear typed on the screen so you can follow along. Our first row is actually not a part of our 9-row repeat for this pattern. We're just going to knit all stitches all the way across. And I've done this in a couple of my other patterns so far, and it's really just to give us a kind of a base stitch, especially because at the end of this project we will be sewing the beginning edge and the cast off together to make that infinity scarf or cowl shape. So we're going to just knit all the way across. Alright, nice and easy row 1. Row 2 is where it starts to get a little bit complicated. I have 2 stitch markers out because I like to use those for whatever my trim sections are on either end of a row, but those are completely optional. So, row 2, which is actually row 1 of the repeat, you're going to knit 1 and purl 1 4 times. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and knit 1, purl 1. So you should have 8 stitches at this point on your right hand needle. This is where I'm going to slip in a stitch marker because this is going to be our border on this side. And this border is eventually going to be a ribbed cable pattern. So we'll see that come into play later. Now for the center section, we're going to have our cluster stitch repeat. So for the center section, we're going to start with a purl 1. And then we have the star in our pattern. So the star repeat is knit 2, purl 1 until last 8 stitches. So I knit 2 and purl 1, 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 knit 2, and purl 1. Just going to double check that I have 8 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have more than that, so I'm going to knit 2, purl 1 again. Knit 2 and purl 1. Now I only have 8 stitches left, so this is where I'm going to put in my second stitch marker. Again, that is optional. And I'm going to do my knit 1, purl 1 until the end, because this is going to be the other side of our ribbed cable. Alright, row 3 of the pattern, or row 2 of the repeat, we're going to start with that knit 1, purl 1 4 times, or until you hit your stitch marker. And I've hit my stitch marker, so I'm going to slide that stitch marker over. We're going to do a knit 1 inside the stitch marker, and then this is where our star would start to make the repeat. So we're going to yarn over, knit 2, and then go back to that yarn over and slide it over the 2 knit stitches you just did. And then you're going to knit 1. So again, we yarn over, knit 2, pick up that yarn over and slide it over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip that yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip that yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slide that yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slide that yarn over the 2 knit stitches, and knit 1. Now I've reached my stitch marker, so I'm going to slide that stitch marker over and do my knit 1, purl 1 until the end of the row. Alright. Now we're going to start row 4 of the pattern, which is row 3 of the repeat. We're going to start with our knit 1, purl 1. Until we hit that stitch marker. When you get to the stitch marker, slide it off. Now we're going to purl 1, and then our star would be here in the pattern. So our repeat till the next stitch marker is knit 2, purl 1. I'm going to do that till the next stitch marker. And now I've reached my second stitch marker, so I'm going to slide it over and do my knit 1, purl 1 pattern until the end of the row. All right, for row 5, which is row 4 of the repeat, we're going to start with our knit 1, purl 1 again. And slide off that stitch marker. We're going to knit 1, and then this is where our star would be in the pattern. Yarn over, knit 2, slip that yarn over those 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip that yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over the 2 knit stitches, and knit 1, slide that stitch marker over, and do your knit 1, purl 1 until the end of the row. All right, from here, for row 6 of the pattern, which is row 5 of the repeat, you're going to repeat the first row of the repeat, which was row 2 of our pattern. For row 7, which is row 6 of our repeat, you're repeating row 2 of the repeat, or row 3 of the pattern. And for row 8 of the pattern, or row 7 of the repeat, you're repeating row 3 of the repeat, or row 4 of the pattern. This will make more sense once it's typed up on the side because I'm only going to use the repeat rows. But basically you're going to repeat the first 3 rows of the repeat pattern. Then we'll come back and do row 9 of the pattern or row 8 of the repeat together because that one is different. Alright, and for our final repeat row, so row 9 of the pattern, row 8 of the repeat, you will need a cable needle to do this. If you don't have a cable needle, you can always use one double-pointed needle to do this, although it's a little bit trickier. If you really needed to, you could also leave the cables out and just continue the pattern with the ribbing, edging, and the cluster ribbing in the middle. It's up to you, but I'm going to show you how to do the ribbed cables anyway. So you're going to slide your first 4 stitches onto the cable needle and bring those forward in front of the work. Then you're going to do 2 rounds of your knit 1, purl 1 rib. And now we need to do the stitches that are on the cable needle. So you can leave them on the cable needle to work them. I actually most of the time like to slide them back onto the regular needle because that's easier for me to hold. So slide those back on if you would like to. And finish off your knit one, purl one. And that's your rib cable. So our rib stitch is going to twist every 8 rows on the edge. Slide over your stitch marker. Then we're going to knit one, and this is where our star would be on the repeat in the middle. Yarn over, knit 2, slip that yarn over the 2 knit stitches, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip that yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip that yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over, knit 1. Then you can slide your stitch marker over if you're using one. And now we're going to cable 4 backwards. So you're going to slide those first 4 stitches onto your cable needle, and this time put them behind your work instead of in front. So we're cabling in the opposite direction from the first edge. So do your knit 1, purl 1 for those 4 stitches that are left. Slide your cabled stitches back onto your needle if you choose to. And then finish your knit 1, purl 1 on the last 4 stitches. And that's it for our 8-row repeat. So in your work you should have a cluster rib stitch in the middle, and you're going to have a cabled rib stitch on the sides going in opposite directions. So I'll hold it up a little closer to the camera. There's that cluster rib stitch in the middle and the start of our cables on the side. I'll show you what it looks like when I make a little bit more progress, but those are the basic stitches. Alright, and here is the finished cowl. I just sewed up the ends with a whip stitch, and I definitely made it more of a cowl length, like a doubled over cowl, than an infinity scarf, but you can obviously adjust the pattern to the length you want. I'll give you a close-up of those stitches. I absolutely love how this cluster rib and the cables turned out. The other side looks kind of like normal ribbing with those cables on the ends. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you for the next Dungeons & Dragons tutorial. Bye everybody!